This is a product review for 3 highly rated microwaves. This one is from Toshiba, this one is from BLACK+DECKER, and this one is from GE. In this video, I just want to give you a real quick overview of some of their different features, some of their similarities, differences, and then at the end, give you my take on which one is the best. All 3 of these come out of the box just like this with their user manuals, super easy to plug in and get set up. They all 3 have clock displays, which you can see here. They'll tell you the time. And then they all come with those glass turntables inside, which are really easy to take out and either hand wash or stick in the dishwasher. As far as internal space, the Toshiba and the GE definitely have the most space inside. The BLACK+DECKER can fit a standard size plate, but it does not have the room that the other 2 have. So here is a close-up of a standard dinner plate inside the Toshiba. Now we'll put it inside of the BLACK+DECKER, so it actually just barely slides in there with very little room to spare on the sides, but it does go in. And then here in the GE, all 3 of these have these quick cook guides here at the top that you can reference whenever you want. I really like that feature so that I don't have to have the user manual on hand all the time. One of the biggest differences in these microwaves is that this GE is actually also an air fryer and it can broil food as well. The Toshiba and the BLACK+DECKER are just your standard microwaves that can reheat things, defrost, and have a few presets for cooking things like potatoes, rice, veggies. All right, now let's get up close and personal with these microwaves. So we'll start with the Toshiba here. My favorite thing about it is this handle. It's just very easy to open and close. It does not move around on the countertop at all, as opposed to a push button microwave, which will slide unless you have it pushed back against a wall. So back to the Toshiba, it does have the standard presets here for defrosting and cooking certain types of food. I really like this soften feature. You can quickly soften a stick of butter if you're baking cookies or something. And then it has this favorite option, and you can preset up to 3 different types of heating. So if you want to have a preset that's at 50% power and a certain amount of minutes, you can have up to 3 of those presets. And so that can make it really quick. And then also my favorite feature here is that you can mute here. Can you hear how loud this beeping sound is? So if you long press the 8, then it will mute that beeping sound. And so it will be very, very quiet. The last thing I want to mention about this is that whenever the cook time is done, it will beep a few times to let you know the food is finished cooking. And if you open it up while it's beeping, it will stop beeping. Now for the BLACK+DECKER, as I've already mentioned, this is the smallest of the 3 microwaves. So if you have limited counter space, this might be a great option for you. One thing I want to mention about this one is it does not have a mute option. So you can hear the beeping. It's not quite as loud as the other microwave, but there is no way to turn off that beeping, just so you know. And then also when the cook time is finished, it will beep 5 times to let you know it's done. And even when you open the door, those 5 beeps are still going to happen. Opening the door will not stop the beeping. So if beeping drives you nuts, this is not your microwave. I want to show you my favorite feature on this though. If you have little kids and little fingers reaching up here to mess with buttons a lot, what you can do is you long press the stop button and it will actually turn on a lock. So when you see this little symbol, then no matter what you hit, it will not register. So that's a nice feature, I think, especially when you have littles in the house. So that is something to consider. You long press to turn that lock off. This is a 700-watt microwave as opposed to the other 2 microwaves, which are both around 1100 watts. So this one might take just a tad bit longer to reheat or defrost certain things. But honestly, the difference of wattage doesn't really bother me all that much. I think that this microwave does a great job. Now let's talk about the GE. I think the best part of this one is that not only is it a standard microwave, but it is also an air fryer and a broiler. So it comes with these 2 things here, a plate that you can put your food on that you want to broil or air fry, as well as this little stand. So the shorter one is for whenever you're broiling food, because you want it lower down in the microwave so that it doesn't burn from the heating element on top. And then when you're air frying, you want to put it up on this higher one. Also, you would never ever want to put any of these in there when it's on microwave mode, only when it's on air fry mode. And the way you get to air fry mode is you hit air fry and then you select the temperature you want. So 100 degrees is associated with 1, and it goes all the way up here to 400 degrees with a 9. So you hit 400 here, and then you would just hit start, and it knows exactly what to do. Now I want you to hear the sound of the beeping. It's not too terribly loud on this, but I want you to know you cannot mute the beeps on this microwave. And at the end of cook time, when it starts beeping to let you know the food is done, as soon as you pop it open, it will stop that beeping. So that's a nice feature. Also, you can do a child safety lock on this one as well, which I really like. So you long press the 7, then you hit the 9 and the 0, and you can see LOC for lock. And so I'll show you what happens. So if I'm cooking and my kid comes over here and tries to open it up to get to the hot food, he actually cannot open it at all. You can't open it until the cook time is done. And none of these buttons will work either whenever that lock is enabled. And so if I cancel that, then if you long press the 7 again, and then hit 9 and 0, it will unlock it and you can open it back up. This GE does have a rather large footprint, but when you think about the fact that it's actually 2 appliances in one with that air fryer and the microwave, it actually is saving you counter space if you can use this air fryer as opposed to having an entirely separate air fryer that you have to store in your kitchen. That brings us to the end of the review, and as promised, I am going to share with you which one is my favorite, but first I just want to say these are all 3 great microwaves, and it really just depends on what best suits you. So for me, because of my season of life with young children and a large family and limited counter space, I do prefer the BLACK+DECKER because it's smaller, it has the child lock on it, it's just really simple, and we basically just use it to reheat plates of food, and it serves our purposes perfectly. I love that the air fryer is attached to the GE, and if I was in a different season of life, I would probably go with that microwave for that reason, but this air fryer, this little tray is not gonna fit the amount of food that my family needs to consume. So for that reason, I wouldn't really use the air fryer right now very much. So it's the BLACK+DECKER for me. But like I said, these are all great microwaves, and hopefully this helps you make your decision.